Hey, my name is Ro. We are going to go through a slow vinyasa practice that focuses just on one block, our breath, and staying present. This focus can be for whenever you need, if you're feeling crusty, if you want to add in a bit more fluidity into your day, or if you just need to take a moment of pause and kind of focus on the movement of things. So we're hoping that each movement that we kind of sink into flows into the next one and just keeps rolling. If you notice that there's a different direction that you want to go, take that direction. At the end of the practice, we'll slow it down, we'll come down onto our mats. Just know that you can pause at any time to take up more space, to rest whenever you need to, or again, to come back and start the sequence again. Let's start in table. The block is going to be right here in the center, and our hands are actually just going to be on top of that block. Tops of the feet into the ground, pressing into the block, round through the upper back, bring the chin to the chest. Maybe the gaze finds itself towards the knees. And as you inhale, soften through the belly, draw the shoulders back, lift the gaze. Exhale, we're going to tuck that tailbone in, nice and slow, coming into cat. Inhale, the tailbone starts to lift up, the gaze lifts here into that cow pose. Exhale, as you round through, start to draw the hips back towards the heels, almost as if you're coming into child's pose, taking a big stretch here through the shoulders and the upper back. And before the hips come towards the heels, we shift forward, coming into that cow, so tailbone, belly, chest, and gaze, and we're moving forward. Rippling back, exhale. Drawing in, come forward. One more in each direction, draw back. Seesawing here and come forward. And once you're here at the top, start to create slow circles, and the spine can move however you need it to. Hips can move, head can move. Breath definitely moving. And we will slowly come back to center. Tucking the left toes, bring the right foot forward. With that block, it's going to come onto the highest side, so level 3, side 3, short side, whichever you prefer, and we're going to sneak those toes up a little bit towards the top of our mat. Release the back toes here, round through, exhale, and inhale, chest, heart comes forward. Exhale, and inhale. You might start to notice that your heel on that right side is pressing you back, and the toes are drawing you forward. One more as we round through. And as you come forward through the chest, that left hand stays on the block, right hand on the thigh, lift and twist, looking back or looking upward. Breathe in. Exhale, left hand off the block, lifting it up, drawing it back. Bend into the elbow, wiggle through the fingertips. Breathe in, arm comes up. Exhale, we reach for that block. Start to slide the block to the long edge of the mat, and the left foot is going to come with it as we extend into that low side plank. Sweep the right arm in line with the leg, with the body, and pressing up and overhead. Staying strong through the left side, we sweep down. And we lift, inhale. One more to sweep down. As we sweep down, plant the hand onto the leg. Left arm reaches up and over, bend into that elbow, wiggle the fingers again. Turn the chest in towards that extended leg. Inhale, open. Exhale. And inhale. One more exhale, left hand and right hand. Reach towards the right toes. Lift both arms up. And as we turn towards the back of the mat, right hand on the block, left hand towards the ground, all the toes pointing, lift the right leg up. Breathe in. Exhale out. That right knee comes towards the right elbow. Plant the foot along the long edge so the toes are pointing away from the center, and that block is going to lift up towards the sky, towards your ceiling. Take that block underneath the left arm. And as you inhale and extend the block out to the side, we press into that right foot, we lift the chest, and the left arm reaches out to the side. Big breath in, a nice, slow, low, warrior two. Inhale, reach the arms up, both hands on the short end of the block. Exhale, bend into the elbows, bring that block towards the heart. Inhale. And exhale. One more as we lift up, looking up. Exhale, bringing it down, holding onto that block with that right hand, and the right hand to the inside of the right foot, right thigh. Left arm reaches towards the toes. Deep inhale. Slow exhale. Let's bring that left hand down to the ground. Block in line with the hand. Shift the hips back towards the left heels. Keep that bend in the knee as we sit and reach the arms up, both hands onto the block. Extend through that leg. Lovely. Twisting towards that left side. Right hand, right block, or block in the right hand, is going to plant onto the ground. Left hand in line with the hip, lifting the hips up, pressing them away from the body, looking at the thumb. Now this shift has the heel coming in line with the short end of the mat, and that right foot planting on the opposite side. Bring those hands towards the front of the mat, and that left foot in line with the long edge of the mat. Good. Pressing up through that right side, reach up. Exhale, twist underneath. Inhale, lift up. And exhale underneath. One more, lifting up. Exhale, take that rotation, reaching underneath, pressing into the heel. And as the right arm reaches out to the side, draw the belly up and in, squeeze into that right leg, slowly start to lift, keep the hinge. Breathe in, lift the arms up, hands to the block. Exhale, block comes towards the heart. So focus all your energy here, tuck in the tailbone, inhale, reach. Exhale, bringing it in. And reach up, look up. We'll take that focus back into the block. Good, and slowly hinge back. Plant the block in the hand. Bring the right foot forward, just like where we started. And the block can come over to the left corner of the mat, and so can the left hand. Now, with the block, we can put it on the second setting. Place both our hands on here. Open the hips slightly, open the chest, and look ahead. If it feels comfortable on that back foot, release it to the ground. Inhale, tuck the chin in. Exhale, draw the block to center. Slowly take your time, bringing that foot right side to the out and then connecting it with the left knee. Once it's connected, hips come back, and the block shifts over to the left side, child's pose. Deep breath in, slow breath out. Inhale to center. Exhale, coming to table. Bringing it back here. We slowly move through the spine. And now this movement can be cat-cow, it can be barrel rolls, shifting forward and back, whatever you need. Bringing it back towards that midline, moving forward. Left foot comes towards the top. And maybe we shift the toe a little further forward, rounding through the upper back. And bringing the chest forward. Exhale, round. And inhale forward. Exhale, rounding through. Inhale forward. We slowly can take that block onto its third setting, or we can keep it on the second, planting the hand on that left side to the thigh, lifting the chest. Slowly, that right arm reaches up and over, bending into the elbow, wiggling the fingers. As we reach down with that right hand for the block, we start to move it over to the long edge of the mat. And the right foot starts to go along with it so that we can be here in our side plank, lifting that left arm towards the sky or your ceiling. Good. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. Inhale, lift up. Maybe take that bend and wiggle. And slowly bring it down. Tuck the tailbone in slightly again. Reach up and over. And bringing it down. One more. Up and over. And exhale as the hand comes towards the thigh. Right arm up and over the ear. Turning in towards the leg. Inhale, opening the chest. Turning in towards the leg. And opening to the chest. Exhale, we turn in. Reaching both arms towards the toes. Inhale, lift the arms up. And as we lift, that right hand comes to the block. Left hand draws down, and we shift towards the back of our mat. Nice slow lift through that left leg. Deep inhalation. Slow exhalation. Left knee towards the left elbow, then plant the foot, coming here in to that nice, slow warrior two base. As we plant into that left hand, right arm reaches up. Exhale, thread it underneath. Inhale, lifting it up. And exhale, thread it underneath. Good. Plant the block onto the mat. Plant the right hand onto the mat. Shift back, reach up and open. And as you come back, the block goes into that left hand and shifts. Good. Now we press up and open. Right hand to the ground. And we start to complete that sequence. Lift the left arm up. Exhale, thread it underneath. Inhale, sweep it up. Exhale, thread it underneath. One more, reaching up. Bend to that knee. Exhale, thread. As you open up through that left hand and the block, the right arm reaches. Inhale, lift. Short end comes together. Exhale, elbow bends. Inhale, you know the next step, lift. And exhale, lowering with your breath. Keeping that knee pressed open, inhale. And exhale. With that left hand, we plant the block. Right hand comes to the mat. Nice and slow, let the hips draw back. Keeping the block close. Right hand behind the hip. And we can lift the hips forward and over. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. Hips can come down. Reach for that block again. Nice and slow, the block comes over to meet that other hand, and so does the foot in line with the short end of the mat. As we take that left foot, bring it over to the opposite side, then our toe can start to face forward as we draw the hands back into that warrior two. And I'm a little bit closer to you now as well, so I'm going to shift over here towards the center. Pressing into that right hand, lift the left arm up. Exhale, thread underneath. Inhale, lift. Exhale, thread underneath. Inhale, lift. Last one as we draw under. Finding focus here through the block. How we hold it, how we press into the toes and into the hand. Drawing underneath, finding our gaze all the way through. Slow open here through that left side and that right side. Inhale, lift up in that low warrior. Exhale, bring it in. Inhale, lifting it up. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Let's take one more as we press into the block, lifting up, finding our gaze. And then exhale, gazing into the chest towards the block again. Hinging forward, plant the block, plant the hand. Bring the left foot forward, walk the hands over to the right side of your mat, folding in. And now the block can be on the second setting or third, first. Inhale and exhale, chest comes through. Take your time bringing that block back to the center. And the left foot draws in line with the right. As the hips come back, the hands shift over to the right side of your mat again. Bring your hips over to the right. Draw the feet out in front. Reaching for your block. Bring it in between the ankles or the calves and move the feet all the way out to the edges of the mat. Point the toes, hinge forward, and this hinge doesn't have to be super far. You want to keep it to a space where we notice a little bit here through the low back, but also through the shoulders. We notice it here through the hamstrings and the hips and the legs. And when we point the toes, we notice it through the front line of the body, at least up into the hips. Sweep the toes out to the side and back, creating circles through the ankles. And as you peel the toes back, lift the chest. Exhale, lift the block, lift the arms. Take a slight back bend here, walking the feet a little bit closer together. Exhale as you hinge forward, sweep over to that left side. Plant the block in any setting that you need. Release the toes, release the knees. Take away a bit of tension here. Lovely, and that block comes on to first or second setting. And we open very slowly towards the right side, peeling the toes back. Again, remember, so many different sides here and so many spaces where you can bring the block back. Sweep, swim forward. Reach for that block on the other side. Plant it onto the right. And as you hinge and twist, we open. Remembering that you can bring it back for more stability, more focus as well. Sweep or swim forward. Hands beside the hip. Hips shift towards the heels. Windshield wipe the knees from side to side. Taking your time, roll onto the mat. Make sure you bring your block with you. Press into the heels, lift the hips up, coming into bridge. On that first setting, the widest side block draws underneath the low back. Make sure this feels comfortable here. And you can play around with it, maybe even a bolster instead of a block. Bring one knee into the chest and then the other, or take the right knee into the chest. Extend the left leg out. Create space between the shoulders and soften into the block. Even soften into those toes. Whether you have both knees in, maybe you have both feet up. But if you're here with me on one side, take the time to switch to the other. Notice your connection to the block, maybe the connection from your forehead or your shoulders or your heel or your foot into the ground. Take notice of your breath, how it's moving, how it's feeling. Both feet down to the mat, bringing them out a little bit wider than hip width. Hands down by your sides. Breathe into the body. And as you exhale, no expectations. Allow the knees to sag to the sides and hands to sag to the sides. Maybe start to notice that your legs extend out in front of you. Maybe you notice that you prefer being off the block or bolster and staying connected to the ground. If you've already moved off the block, you can hang here, but if you're still on top of the block, use your hands to bring the knees closer, soles of the feet connected to ground you so we can lift the torso and move the block out from underneath. Hips come down to the ground, but if you're already here, both knees come into the chest, rocking from side to side, elbow to elbow. Back to center. Legs up in the air. We're going to shake them out. You can even shake the arms out too. And the feet come down. Extend one leg at a time. Bring the arms down by your sides. Shift through the hips, wiggle through the fingers and toes. Breathe into the belly. And sigh out into the ground. Remember, at any point in time, you can pause and continue here, but find shapes, movements, stretches, moments that really connect with you. Connect with your breath and notice how it's moving. Count the inhales and exhales if you like. Soften more into the space between the eyebrows. But also soften into the back of the body, noticing the spaces of tension through the spine, the hips, the knees, the feet. Take a moment to reflect on practice and where your focus may have been. See if you can note some of the parts of practice where we got off track but came back into focus, with purpose, on purpose. Slowly continue. to breathe here. And I want to thank you for joining me, and I'll see you soon.